Karina, I thought I'll just make a video here to just explain what I'll be offering at my author academy, which I'll be giving next week in Singapore and also in Sweden. What I found out are two types of authors. One of them will approach a publisher, and a publisher will probably uh, take on the project, and they do it in several ways. Number one is they will take all your content and your concept, and it comes under their own copyright, so you can't access that content even though it's yours, because in some ways you have given that over for them to underwrite your project. And these are what some friends of mine have done, and they've given everything to the publisher, and even if they wanted to buy their own book back, they have to actually purchase it at a discounted rate. The publisher doesn't do very much from what I see, because even at the book launch, most of the supporters who actually buy your book are your friends and your family, and that will probably be all that the publisher would be doing, because they've got other books to also promote. So I feel that to me personally it's not really a great deal, because the content is no longer yours, even though it is really your original material. Um, Secondly, I've also seen publishers who expect you to pay 50% upfront for things like artwork and designing and printing of the book. So the poor author really has to come up with actual cash to pay for these other parts of the book, because not just the writing, but it's also the designing and the printing and getting the ISBN number. Now, I prefer self-publishing because I control the content, and I'm not too happy with what publishers offer, and sometimes they tend to want to control the content. They want you to work in a certain way, or to write in a certain way, or to add things that are not even in your best interest. So self-publishing, I think, for me, is the best way to go. And I recently did a historical novel, and it's been a sellout from the first print, and now I'm on the second print, and all the profits of that book comes back to me, and all the content and all the ideas and all my writing belongs to me. So I find that that works, and I like to offer that later to budding authors. So the first, I'm just going to share, I'm not going to share with you the entire program, because there are people who are paying to attend my seminar in Sweden, and they're paying quite a bit to attend it. So to be a professional and to be professional about it, I think I have to, do justice to those who are paying, and to give the tips and tools for those who are paying for it. But at the end, I'll be offering the same thing which I'll be offering to you. So some of the things I'll be asking is, why be an author? Just to remind people that an author elevates you to be a subject expert, gives you tremendous credibility, legacy. It is today's business card if you're writing a business book. It is one of the goals that I think most people who are thinking of being an author, I think one of the things they will feel very accomplished is to finish the book. And of course, the word author comes from authority, and authority, there's the word author in it. So basically, it gives you tremendous authority as a subject expert in your field. And today it can be any subject under the sun. People are so hungry and so open to learning. And so the approach of books, I feel, should be very strategic. That means the books have to have a return on investment. It should be strategic. It should be sound marketing. Again, I see a lot of people just doing books just for the love of it. It's a vanity project. They just want to do it, and pay so much for it. And in the end, after 1 or 2 weeks, the excitement dies down, and then they struggle to find out how to market it, and in the end, it's just dumped. So I find that's a very sad way to write books, because there's no strategy, there's no ecosystem, there's no plan, of distribution and creating platforms and events and other things that go along with a successful book. Um, Even if you did publish your own book, you can also sell it yourself on Amazon and other online books. So I think if you have a good strategy, you should not lose in any way. So the first thing is about leverage. I think a lot of people forget that a book is actually all about return on investment, it's business, and it's leverage. Number two is it's all about credibility. Um, it does take a lot of hard work. I think you have to be honest with yourself. You have to also know that you are the best subject expert for that field, and I feel that people who are just mediocre or who just want to do it as an ego project will not last the whole journey. So your honesty, your self-honesty, your integrity, or why you want to write. And the best thing, motivation for writing, is to help others, to see, to give people a better life, to make them, find better ways to where they can be better people. I think that's one of the simplest motivation, to share knowledge. The third thing is all about authority. I've just mentioned that before. And four is about authenticity. Again, who you are as a writer will come through as you're writing, your motivations. I've seen terrible, terrible authors who are just there to make a quick buck from people. They offer very cheap advice, copied from all over the place. They don't live the life. They don't practice what they preach, and it's just awful. I've seen these kinds of authors, and I just find they're just selling snake oil, and that credibility and authenticity is not there with them. So this is something, again, I think authors are like doctors and nurses and teachers. There's a certain authenticity about their vocation. The fifth thing, is about legacy. Of course, every book will remain there for generations to come. And if your book is one that is very effective, is meaningful, is helping people, there's no reason why it can't be sold over and over and over again. So I'm at the moment have 6 books on my project list. I have done 3 books at the moment, and another 3 more coming up as I test out, as I share, as I give my talks, as I talk to people, I share my wisdom and my expertise. Then only comes a book. It's not the other way around. So I also will share the journey of a book. It's not as simple, because it can be very frustrating. It can be times where you just want to give up. It's a very lonely job. So this is just at a glance, what goes into an ecosystem that goes around the book. The first thing would be a book pitch. If your pitch is not convincing, then you're probably wasting a lot of time writing a book. So it must be something that the market wants, something that you want to write about. There must be something that if you tell people about it, they're very excited and they're waiting for the book to come out. Usually, I think most authors are doing it with this kind of passion, so it should not be a problem. But other problems, like getting the words out, getting your family prepared that you're not going to be with them all the time because the creative juices are running. I'm sure you know all about these things. And then, of course, there's the design of the book, there's editing, there's the printing, there's getting the PR and all these things. So it can freak you out very easily. And so what I'm going to offer to anyone, I think this is the best thing that I can give them, not just tell them why you should write a book, how cool it is to write a book. I think you can Google that. There's tons and tons of book coaches that tell you, how great it is to have a book, and then are not there for you, and you have to just go and find it. They just give you a few tips how to do it. I myself came under a book guru, and I thought that was the best investment I made, because learning from him, I knew the framework, and after that, I could do my other books quite easily. So the book coaching will be um, will include these things, which is a personal one-to-one book coaching, your concept. We will talk about your concept, and how to unpack that concept to completion. And the most important thing, I think, is that strategic framework and marketing strategy for the book. I find a lot of authors waste a lot of time because they don't really have a strategy for their book. You have to work backwards, actually. What is your book for? Where is it going, etc., etc., before you write the book. Most of them just start writing, and they overwrite. They don't know how to build a strategy around the book. And then, of course, the editing, formatting, design, and the printing and delivery, and ISBN registration, and of course getting ready all the master files for printing. So step one, how I would work with you would be to suggest a book genre. There are many genres of writing books, not just the one, to leverage for profit. A writing partner, I'll be a writing partner, an accountability coach, and I'll keep you on deadline very regularly, almost weekly, and someone to bounce ideas off. I found that very useful, just to have someone check in to say how you're doing, and what are your ideas right now. A critical friend, not only myself, but I have also other editors and people who are in the writing business, who can also look at your manuscripts and just give their reviews, help you overcome challenges at writer's block, and also probably can do an author personality test and analysis to see how can you maximize your strengths as an author, and how to make that book even more authentic. That means you're speaking from your own sense of strength. Maybe you're more of a pragmatic, objective, and action type of person. So that book should also portray that kind of tone in your book, that people will enjoy and want to follow you. Then the next step will be the book writing, the help with the book synopsis, which is very, very important for pitching to marketing people or bookshops, or even starting to market your book so that you can sell the book before it is imprinted. Help with the book outline is very, very important, doing the mapping of the book, the mind mapping of the chapters, and then helping with the most important copy. On the cover is the back copy cover, which is a marketing strategy. Is actually on the back cover. And then the book title is very important, to have the right book title, and asking the right questions to harness your inputs and insights. So someone that actually quickly gets to know where you're getting at and helping you. Editing drafts, usually just 2 rounds, and of course all the proofreading that has to go with it. Now the third part will be the actual book design and printing. So these several options will be given to you, and all the artwork that goes with it. And I'm working with a printer here in Singapore that is giving me very, very high quality and very fast and good quality printing. And I thought of just giving the first 100 books as part of the package, so that you can actually start to promote it or start to launch it. And Singapore is pretty good as a printing hub here. Reprints are also available of your book, and delivered door to door to you. And if your book is something that fits within my own brand, I do give a lot of talks in Singapore, and who knows, it might develop into webinars, or even a conference or seminar. If there are a few of my a cold cheese, right? I can put them all together in one, um, event. So many possibilities, creative possibilities here. So there'll definitely be things I like to throw in, and a flyer, for instance, advice on any advice that you like, and referrals. And at the end is, what is it going to cost you? So I have packaged it at a reasonable Singapore 3,000 per book. I see the job as the project as a 6 to 8 month, if you're fast, or a year or more if you need more time. So it is a project that's spread over quite some time. You cannot just do a book in a couple of months. I think that will be difficult unless you already got something ready, but it still needs to be packaged. There still needs to be some strategy put in it. So that's about US dollars, about 2,220. I kept it reasonable for a first-time investor, and the investment you make with what the journey and the process that you're going through for your first book, I think will be well worth it. I definitely paid a lot more to my Australian book guru, just to get my first book out. And like I said, I think we have to invest in something to get investment back. I think this mindset of getting things for free is very unprofessional, and I think only those who have a premium mindset, who want to see good quality stuff, who want to attract good quality, know that everyone appreciates that and knows that there is some investment that goes into it. So whether it is just from a direct contact to me, or whether it is giving talks, I'm giving the same book package to everyone, to help them. And those who can actually see the benefit of this, I think will benefit a lot from getting a book coach, working along with me, and getting it at a really great, I think it's a very fair price to get their first book out and concentrate on doing the business of the book, not to bog down too much on the technical details, but just get that book out, get their personal brand out, get known, get discovered, and then from there just start writing books and become a bestseller and become famous. I mean, I think that's one of the greatest gifts an author can give to the world. But every author has to make some kind of investment. So I'm seeking for those who can see this value, and I look forward to working with people like that. And with my experience in branding and design, and my own experience as an author, and just enjoying the whole journey now, being well known, invited all over the places to give talks and selling my books, has been very satisfying and very meaningful. So I leave this thought with you, and if you don't wish to take it up, it's okay. Go down the publisher route, go and try out different options and work it out for yourself, what would be the best fit for you. So thanks for inquiring, and I wish you all the best for your book, and try the different ways. So all the best, and thanks again for inquiring. So have a great day. Bye.